myself might be able to help you figure it out. So, welcome to week 4 officially. This is week 4, right? Is anybody with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead. Let me ask how many of us have been able to set up or download Kali? The last class we listed the stuffs that you should look at before.
I have done everything, sir.
Hmm. Sammy.
Yes, sir. I have G-Shop, I have Kali, I have everything. I know everything. I have
Okay, interesting. Mr. Robs,
Yeah, I will download Kali, but I don't know because I use my Microsoft. Is it okay like that?
if you followed the
Because I
video,
wanted to ask you that.
if you follow the video description, okay, um, you will be able to set up the virtual box inside your Windows. Sorry, your Microsoft. How do they call it? Your HP system, Windows system. Yes, because what I'm using here now is Windows, but the virtual box is what is going to hold or host the Kali machine. Okay. Okay. So
Sir, did you send a video in that regard?
yes, there is a video on how to install the tools you need.
No, sir, you did not send it to. You did not send it. You did not send it. You
Oh,
did not
yeah,
send it.
oh yeah, wait. Let us check it out now and see whether it was sent or not. Where is your people's folder? Let me go to people's folder. Okay, search. You will see whether it is there. Now I'm going to catch those that don't go through their class folder. I'm going to catch them now. Uh, Come on, Spectanet, don't delay me. Somebody wants to join. Nelo, welcome. You came in at the heat of a discussion. I'm going to ask you a question now. Did you not see the instruction video of how to set up your download the Kali and how to set it up? Did you or did you not see it? Good. The whole class didn't see it. So we are going to find out whether that claim is true or not. And for us to do that, if we go into the folder and we find it, it means that all of you are going to get me one bottle of bottle of what should I ask for? Rob said beer. One bottle of something. One bottle of something. So let's see. So I'm going to go to people's folder. This is to show that you guys don't open your folder. God help you guys that I will find it there. You people must surrender one bottle of something. So I'm going to your folder now. It should be on the. Okay, this is not it. Let me get the place where it is hosted. Sorry. You guys can still see my screen, right? In fact, let me make it bold so that you won't say, sir, I did not see it very well. Or, sir, you just put it now. So, man, this weekend is going to be nice for me. Is it that one bottle of something or is it Kilishi Abisuya? Everybody will submit one wrap, not less than 1,000 naira own. Don't put Igbo inside it though. So you're not gonna eat suya. After eating suya, start speaking French. Come on, why are you not loading up Google Drive? Spectanet, if you do not behave, I will switch you to MTN.
Maybe one of the set that you didn't put it.
You said?
Maybe one of the side that you didn't put it.
Don't worry. Don't worry, let's go. We are going there. This is your folder, right? Confirm that this is. Oh, let me get. You guys are batch 9, so let's get to batch 9, and everybody will confirm that
How
this is
do we
your.
know? How do we know? What did you name it with? What did you name it with? How do
Don't
we know?
worry, don't worry, don't worry. Let's get there first. Cybersecurity interns. Let's get there first. This is batch 9, right? Is this people's batch or not? Somebody be answering
That's what
me.
we saw.
Is it what you saw? Okay. What is under here is installation guide also, but now inside your batch, you're going to see your recording class, right? When you open it, this page will decide whether I'm getting weekend giveaways or not. Okay, the last class was week 3. This is a material. What is this? In fact, Chinelo, read it out. What is this?
Tools to install for practical.
Good. Now, when I double click on it, let's see where it takes me. I will enlarge it. Enlarge, enlarge, enlarge. So they will not. How do we? Okay. Uh-huh. I read Chinelo. Read, read, read. What is the first one?
It's not loading. Okay, just loading.
Okay. What is it?
VM installation link.
Good. Which is the virtual boss? What's the number 2? What is number 2?
Did you say the next one?
Yes.
Part 2
Number 2.
video. How to install virtual machine.
Good. What is number
Video.
3?
How to install virtual machine.
Number 3, Nko.
Install Jupyter.
Okay.
Install Visual. Video to install Visual.
So, and the whole class gathered together and said, Mr. Brian did not include it. This is to show that you guys
Because I
don't.
know what that.
And if you check very well, I don't think any one of you have gone back or even visited this your folder. So,
Wow.
what are we deciding on? Is it one bottle of something or suya from each one of you? Yeah, let's make that decision before the class continues now.
So we'll make it. Let's go on before the end of the class.
Robinson, did you agree to what she said?
Maybe that's really something we will decide later. Now.
Sammy, Nko?
So we have to agree.
Okay. Yeah, you people should agree on your punishment. That's interesting. You guys are nice learners.
We're going to agree
Okay,
and come up with
it's all right. So let's hit the road running. Okay, I intend us to spend not less than 2 hours today, so that but we're gonna achieve something good and interesting. So, first of all, welcome to week 4, home labs. And like I said, from here henceforth, things are going to change and it's going to get more practical. And everything you've learned from week 1 down to this place is important towards week 2. This towards this second phase. I remember I told you guys to look up on IP address, also look up on classes, other things. Just a little read up on them, because while we are doing our practicals, we will need to be touching base with some of them. So I remain Mr. Brian, your lead instructor for the program. So step 1 is connecting your devices, which automatically means setting up your home lab, at least the initial phase. Now, if you watch very well, let me increase this. If you watch very well, I have my SpectraNet here. Now, this SpectraNet can serve as your hotspot from your phone, or serve as whatever it is your modem you're getting your internet from. And I have different phones here. I have extra two laptops here. Then we're also going to find out how to find the devices that are connected in our network. We'll do that also today. So before we go into that, let me paint an illustration, which is very, very important. Who among you guys lives in an estate? Let's use Chinelo's estate. The estate is called Chinelo's estate. Chinelo's estate. Okay. Listen very carefully and pay attention because this is going to form the basis of an important what's it called segment. So this is Chinelo's estate, and inside this estate, this is the gate to the estate. Let's say there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 houses inside this estate. Okay, now this street, all their streets, probably let's call them Sami streets. So we have an estate called Chinelo Estate, and we have streets inside them, and all the streets are called Sami streets. So when we want to identify the houses, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then around here is a security post, right? Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Okay, the security post has a number 0. So it serves as the place where information gets through, and like a passway. Now, to name the first house, you say number 1 Sami Street. Where? Number 1 Sami Street, what is going to follow it? In where?
Chinelo estate.
Good. In Chinelo's estate. In Chinelo estate. And the same thing goes to every other numbering of the house: number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Now, a question is there any how or any way, any building inside this estate will not bear this address configuration? Is there any how? So far as you are inside this estate, your building must have this address arrangement. You are inside Sami Street and inside Chinelo Estate. Okay. Now, this Chinelo Estate serves as your modem. Now, the modem could be also your hotspot in case you're using phone. Hotspots. How many of us uses hotspot for connection to other devices? Okay. Now, Chinelo Estate is synonymous with the modem you're using or the hotspot. If you now have your phone, first phone, second phone, then you have your laptop, then you have your tablet, all of them, all the devices, normally, every device has a unique identifier.
I need
Okay?
that question.
Yes. So far as you plug it to the internet, it's going to assume an IP address. But that IP address is going to be coming from the estate is coming that it's in. That IP address is going to be coming from the modem. So far as they are connected internet wise in that modem. Meaning, if this modem has an IP address of the estate address or the IP address of 192.168.8, then let's say dot zero. Remember the zero that I told you guys here that is the security number. So it plays here too. So this is like the estate address, which more or less is our modem or our what's it called, hotspot. Now, every other device that comes in is going to take part of this address. They will have this part as the estate address. But this one, this last part, is going to be their own unique address. And that is where you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So device number one will be 192.168.8.1. Device number two, the same thing, dot two. It will have all the, it will inherit the parent address, which is 192.168.8, then dot its own unique address, which is dot two. Your tablet will take 3, the next one will take 4. Now, who decides the address of this? You know, when you come into an estate to buy a land and probably want to build, who gives you a number of the estate? Who gives you an address? Who assigns number for you in the estate? Who does that, guys? Should be the estate management, right? The owners of the estate. So the modem issues out the addresses. Most times at random, most times you can choose a specific number. So this illustration gives us a view of what the internet world and devices looks like. Every device you see out there has an estate where it is coming from.
Well, you lost it for a very long time.
You
Very
welcome,
long
you
time.
welcome, Mr. Brown. We lost you.
Are you serious? Where did you guys lose me?
Where you were talking about, when you just said parent address.
Okay, so
If
sorry
But
about
we are not
that.
seeing you. We are not into your
when I
segment.
was
No way. How can you guys not see my screen?
It's just now, after you came back.
Okay, and you guys started seeing it. Okay,
No,
so
no, not yet.
please,
Not yet.
if you are not seeing my screen, let me know. Oh, now I know what you guys are saying. You guys are not seeing the entire screen. What about now?
it's coming up.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Please, you shouldn't even wait more than 2 or 3 minutes for you to signal to me that my screen is not up.
You paused, like you went off.
Okay.
It's your network.
Oh, okay. My Spectranet network. People should tag them. I don't know what their internet is going or becoming.
I think
Very
it's
soon I'll
actually
switch.
Spectranet.
He said?
I think all the
Okay.
networks are
Okay.
misbehaving these days.
Okay. So let me just do a little recap. From what you heard, or from where we stopped, the modem is just like the estate. Okay, it issues IP addressing to every device that is connected to it. So far as this,
So what you mean is that the all the IP address come from the modem, and
exactly.
they are all the same. They are all the same IP address, in as much as the device connected to the modem,
Okay, now if you
right?
watch, there is a reason why I circled this one in red. There are three. Can you see it? This one, and this
Yeah.
one. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
This three is the parent body. This is the estate address.
Okay.
Now, the last one is the unique buildings. Building one, building two, building three, which is like device one, my second laptop, my this one, my wife's own, kiniko. If you have a tablet, so even if you have 200 devices, all of them will choose their unique. The modem will give them a unique address, but the parent address, which is the estate address, remains constant.
Sorry, let me understand much better. I think you said this unique address or number from different devices comes from, is it from the modem or from the phone, from the device itself that generate this unique, that differentiates different devices?
Okay, the modem gives it the unique IP address it uses to access the internet in your
Okay.
what's it called, um, private network. Now this is a this setup is a private network setup. When you are intercepting with the public, the outside world out there, your address also is not the same with. That's why we have public IP address and private IP address.
Private.
But we are not yet talking about that. We want to understand the concept of this addressing first, the local concept, the home, the basic understanding. So we understand that the modem issues out addresses to devices that are connected to it. It maintains the first three of its own address, which is the parent address. Let's say it is 192.168.8. Then the last one, it reserves them for the unique devices. So if you have 200 devices, as the devices are coming, it will be assigning it different addresses on the last octave, which is this part. But this place remains constant. Please, it is very important that you understand this little concept. Ask questions, please. Chinelo, if you have questions, ask. Sammy, please, if you have questions, ask.
Alright.
I'm waiting for questions. That was why we started with the estate. That was why we started with the estate analogy. And I told you guys that there is no how the buildings will have an address that does not include the name of that estate. So that's why we have number one, Sami Street inside the street, then Chinelo Estate. This is the main thing. That
But I thought every devices, or let's say every phones, have their own, also their own unique IP addresses.
Okay, what they have
Right.
is
Apart from
identifier.
that, the model that we talk, yeah.
What they have is a unique
Apart
identifier.
from okay, unique what?
Identifier.
Sorry, your
Sorry.
okay identifier. Okay.
Yeah, device. And also MAC address. There are MAC addresses of devices. They don't change. It will take what's it called? A very strong, rigorous work for a MAC address of a device to be changed. Most times it is people that does so much elevated kind of work that will need you to swap your MAC address. It's just like changing the engine, because every car comes with an engine number. Okay, so every device from factory has a MAC address which is unique to that particular device. And if you watch here, it says a MAC address is a unique identifier assigned to a network interface controller for the use of a network address in the communication. Let's take, for instance, let's analyze this, what's it called? Modem, Spectranet, and see the parts of it. You can see it boldly, right? Can you guys see it? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Please,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, someone should be with me so that I'll know when I get disconnected. So we see LTE wireless router, okay, model 2Z, whatever, SSID, Spectranet, then the WLAN key, which is wide local area network key. This is like a default password that comes with the router, okay. Then the IP address that has been set on it, which is the 192.168.8.1. Now, and I told you guys that the modem or the router or the hotspot, whatever that you are connected to, is responsible for giving you your private IP address, your IP address which you will use so far as you are connected to that what's it called, router. And why is this important? It is important because if someone, as a security cyber security personnel, you want to know how many devices that are connected into me, how many devices are connected in this my router. You might, on the physical what's it called, interface, you might be seeing 2 devices, but probably unknown to you that probably 38 more are connected which you are not even seeing. And there are some commands that we use to see all the devices that are connected in it. So it is very important to note that, for example, you go to a hotel or whatever, and you are connected to a public Wi-Fi. It is possible for you to see every device or every body that is connected on the same network with you. So far as all of you are in the same network, the owner can actually know how many devices are there. You also, if you know where to go to or how to look at for what you're looking for, you can actually see every device that are connected inside that um, router. And that is why we likened it to an estate and say that so far as you are living in this estate, your number and your number will be given to you by the estate management. So when they are calling roster, your name and your number must be there. When you are filling other forms outside there, you must include the name of your estate. That is part of your address. And that is why we have 192.168.8. Whatever it is for every other device. So if you look at this modem, you see that the modem itself has a house number of what? Number one. What is its own? It took number one apart from the parent body that it is carrying, which is 192.168.8.1. If I connect 20 phones to this router or this Wi-Fi here, this modem or router here, it is going to distribute 20 unique addresses to each of them, and those addresses will be unique on the last octave. These first three, 1, 2, 3, the 192.168.8 will not change. They will remain, how do they, fixed. Yes. So it is the last one that holds the individual numbers or unique address of every device. And this is also shown in the next slide, where we have my phone connected to it. One, I think that should be my first phone. So the IP address has been circled here, 192.168.8.1. Now this is my phone. If you see, it's in slanting mode. There's a way you could, when you go to settings, if your phone is connected to a modem or router or a Wi-Fi, when you go to settings, go to Wi-Fi settings, you actually see where your phone is connected in, the internet it is connected to, and also the IP addressing that it has. So now look at the IP address of my phone. What is it? Can someone read it out?
192
Uh-huh.
168.8.101
Good.
110
Good.
101.
Yes. So is there any similarity between it and the router? If there is, what is it?
Yes. Yes. The three digits, that is 192.168.8.
They are
The difference is just the unique number is just the digit.
okay. Okay. So in the IT world, these digits, each of these digits are called octets. O
Octet.
C T E, I think so. Octets, yes. Now we have in an IP version 4, which is Internet Protocol version 4, we have 4 octets. So we have octet 1, we have octet 2, we have octet 3, and we have octet 4. Are you guys with me? Slowly we will be drifting in slowly. So if you don't get the early parts of the explanation, you will get lost ahead. So that's why I want to make sure that you get the basics as though it is a child. Then you ask the questions also as though you're a child, so that you can understand more. That was why I said you should read it up before we come to class. Now, before we go into their names and what they are called, now look down. You will see the router, because on the phone listed out its own IP address and the router's IP address, so that you can know the address of where you are connected to. So it also listed it below, 192.168.8.1, which corresponds to what we have at the back of our router. Okay. Now, currently also, apart from IP version 4, which has 4 octets, octet 1, octet 2, octet 3, and octet 4, we also have IP version 6, which came as a result of exhaustion of IP version 4. So we now have 6 octaves, and this can hold in more devices than IP version 4. But the one that is more rampant around is IP version 4. And besides, while you're working on your local, your private network, which is more like your home lab, you will be constrained, or you will be using more of IP version 4, because like now, I don't know how many of us have up to 200 devices that we can add on our network. If you know you have up to 200 devices, please let me know. Sammy, how many devices do you have? Is Sammy still in the class? I don't think he's still in the class. Rob, how many devices do you have? Just three. Okay. Nelo, what about you?
Three.
Okay, good. Uh, so this space that has the placeholder for individual IP addresses, like the unique part, that last octave, it can actually take 255 devices. Did you hear me?
Mr. Brian, sorry, I asked this question.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Why do we want to know all this? Is there any like any security threats? Why do you want to know this IP address and connected to it? Whatever
Okay.
to any
Okay.
router?
Okay. I'll give you the simplest analogy. The simplest analogy is as a penetration tester or as a thief, depending on which one of them a person wants to assume. When you are looking at penetrating or securing a network, you want to know the address first, because if you don't have the address of where you're working, the house you're going to deliver a project or deliver something, you're going to get lost. Number one, you need to know the address, and this address is equal to the IP address. That is the address. Without the address, you are lost. Now, when you know the address, you would also need to know how this address or where it is coming from. Because if you don't know where this address is coming from, if you don't know the estate, you are still lost. You still get lost. Now, going in deeper, a house that you moved in, okay? Let's say you moved into a house and you do not know how many doors that are into that house. Do you think you're going to be safe? Will your security be fully intact if you do not know how many doors or access points in your house?
No,
Okay.
you
So,
need to know.
yes, the reason why we need to bore ourselves with knowing this IP address, okay, this is the IP address or my router address, is so that it will make easy for you. The internet world is so much so that if you don't know where you are at any particular time or what you're looking for, you'll get lost. And when you get lost, it will be hard for you to track whatever it is you're tracking. You should even start being able to know your IP address, know the IP address of your router, so that when you're doing a search, when you search your home, you search your network, and you find a strange address or you find some strange movement, you should be able to know and say, this is not my address, or this address is not from where I am. So who owns it? Now, for you to sign in on the internet or go to Google and do anything, your address, your footprint is left there. It is that address that is being used to find out your location. It is that address that is being used to find out what kind of devices are you using. It is that address that is being used to find out, are you even in an estate or in a street? If you're in a street, what is the name of your estate? So the importance of IP addressing is very, very huge. But I will always advise those who are coming into the field new to approach it through a problem. Uh, um, I want to speak in English, but I don't know whether it's correct. A problem initiated.
Zero.
Uh, okay, now approach IP addressing and most of the hardcore topics. Approach them through a problem initiated um, concept, meaning that You don't just stand up and start reading about hard concept or core segments, but let there be a challenge you are trying to solve. Let there be a problem you want to solve that will make you to go and read up that stuff. Then,
I received 2 days ago from to my Gmail, that from Binance.
okay,
So I want to know if it's the system that used to generate such message or maybe the analyst that used to send it. It's a login attempt from new IP address. Just like this number 102.89.23.140. They put the dates when I access, because I used my laptop to access my Binance account
yeah,
for the first time.
okay,
So that's why they sent me the message.
okay,
So unlike what you are explaining now, just like almost the same thing.
okay,
So I don't know if is it the system that used to generate it and send, or
okay,
the cybersecurity attack.
okay. So, um, in every application, there are settings and setups, okay, that help to detect. Most of them are called intrusion detection and intrusion prevention systems. So, an intrusion detection IDS system will or has to be set up in most platforms so that it will detect. We detected an unauthorized access into your account, so we wanted to let you know. This is to let you know that this address logged into your account by so time, just to let you know. Those kind of informations are automatically generated when a new IP address is being used to access your account. If that IP address is used and it didn't get an what's it called, a passage, it will still pick it up and record it. But when your IP address, a new IP address, accesses your account securely and gains entrance, it wants to tell you, the platform will automatically send you a message and let you know, see, oh, this new IP address accesses in. If it is you, no problem, ignore this message. If it's not you, contact us immediately.
Yeah,
You understand?
yeah,
So
yeah.
some platforms have all those set up in them that makes it possible for them to keep track of those logs. Those logs are very, very important, and picking the logs at an instant is more important. Picking the logs at very fast important time is more important, because remember why the SOC came into being from our last classes. There was nobody looking, no monitoring. That was why, what's it called? Threat could be able to take a long time. It will stay, it will mature, yet nobody noticed it. But today, we have automated systems that will pick up these things immediate as it is happening. Someone wants to log into your Facebook, the person tries the first time, bam, you get the notification on your phone. Somebody wants to log into your Facebook. If it is your normal IP address, they will not say anything because that is the one that has been
Yeah,
registered. So
yeah, no, yeah,
yeah, it is very important that we know the concept of this thing, and computers already know, so they keep track and register IP addresses so that they will know who is who. So when they see that the IP address that you used to log in is still the one you are using, no problem. At least that level of problem is lesser. But when there is a change in IP address, they will alert you. And that is why us, the learners, the cybersecurity personnel, we also need to, get ourselves acquainted with IP addressing so that we will know and pinpoint where a threat is coming from. Okay. And also with IP addressing, you could find out the history of this person or this device or the owner. Remember the IP address the log we read in week 1, I be in week 2. Was it in week 2 where we are talking about SOC? The guy's log that we read, that is from, I think, China or thereabout. Yes, yes. So that his IP address is what gave us the information that, oh, this guy is bad. This guy is bad, 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 bad. So having had a little understanding about how IP addresses comes, we also have to go a little bit further. I don't know whether for us to explain. Anyway, how many of us did a little read up on IP address before this class? If you know you did a little read up on IP address before the class, let me know. Nobody? Okay. Our call ends in 5 minutes, so take a break. I'll send the link immediately. Once I share it, please kindly join ASAP so that we'll move ahead. Okay?
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so are we good to go?
Yes.
Okay. Um, Let me take questions before we go ahead. Is there any other question or something you think you remember? Maybe something that is trying to look like something that you're remembering that you might want to ask questions on. Please confirm you see my screens also.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so kindly ask, just ask any question.
Oh no, no questions.
Okay, Mr. Rob, what about you?
No, my own is good. I like as we are taking it bit by bit.
Yeah.
There's no point rushing
Okay. Yes.
because you are explaining it in detail. It's better. Even if this is what we treat everything, I think I'm satisfied.
Yeah, I understand that perspective because going into tech is a very daunting what's it called is if you don't take care. I've seen people get it wrong. They go into most times physical classes due to trying to save time and trying to save resources. So they jam packed so many things, jam pack, and by the time you end up, you find out that before you even get home, you can't remember one thing that sticked well in your head. Even when you go through the books,
That's
it will still be confusing. Yeah, I've been in that situation too several times.
don't be lying.
Yeah, I'm telling you now.
At the end of
So
the day, you have nothing.
yes, now before you know it, if it is 1 month or 2 months, it will pass. That 300,000 or we are going to physical class, man. The teacher will come. There is a what's it called? What's this thing that they used to use to put cinema? I used to have it that time.
Projection. Projection.
Yes, yes. It's coming with projector. You will project everything. How they get it wrong is that they are in a rush to take you into the professional stage. Me,
Yes.
meanwhile,
Don't be lying.
most people they don't even know the basics. Okay, and you,
I have that experience
yeah,
last time that taught us data
mm-hmm,
analysis.
yeah.
So this course that's normally on the norm, it should have been 3 to 6 months course.
You see,
They shrinked it into one week. 1 week they covered everything. If I tell you that I grabbed everything from that course, you call me a liar.
man, what would you expect, Kwan? 1 week? Can you
They're
imagine?
just rushing. At the end of the day, 1 week they don't finish. Hey,
Man, it's all right. So now you will still one of your assignments this week. Once you're done, is also to those things I told you guys to read up. I need you guys to still now. When you are reading it up, it will be making a little, just little. It will be making a little additional sense to you. Read up IP addressing. By the time you come next week, you will have more questions to ask. Read up IP address, read it up. Then IP octates, IP octates, read it up. Remember, I told you IP octates are the placeholders for those numbers. So we have 192.138 dot maybe 150 then dot 15. So each of these placeholders is called the octet. This is the first octet, this is the second octet, and this is the third octet, and this is the fourth octet. Now, it might also surprise you if we go down, you find out that going by octet, octet means 8. True of us, those that did maths in secondary school. Yeah. Nello, why are you smiling like that? Ah, Chinelo, that smile you gave now is not nice, oh.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's a wicked one. So, when you are going through IP octets on Google or any material, you will find out that an octet is 8, 8, 8, and 8. And 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 gives us total of how many? 32. Good. I want to see whether I can steal, I mean it's STEA. I want to slowly steal in something into your memory now. Just follow me. Let's do this small driving. We have 8, each of the octets is 8, and all of them gives into 32. So whose this thing is reverberating? Rob? Okay, please mute.
It's not my own. You are saying actually.
No, Chinelo has been on mute all this while. Okay, Rob, your own is neat. But I say na Chinelo finally.
You take the shake, I the share.
And she was very smart. Immediately I talked about it, she just ping. Women. Women. Okay, so each of the octets has 8, 8, 8, 8, and all of them equals to 32. In the higher class of IP addressing called IP classes, when you're reading about it, please do yourself good, even if it is 10 minutes or 5 minutes, read these stuff. When you're talking about IP classes in a higher level, you will find out that we have class A, class B, class C, class D. Okay. And also, I think there might be class E, depending on the level where you're operating. Now, class C is majorly where everybody that is doing a home lab or that is working under a private address. When you are inside your house, everything connected there is just in your house, inside your house. Then you are in a private network. When you are that setup, you connect your router with your phone. All that small connection you did there is called a private network. So inside that place you are operating on type C. I'm sorry, class C. And to a great extent, you will appreciate why you are in type C. Remember, I asked you guys how many devices you have. So just bear that a little bit in mind. Let us finish with this octet down here. So we said that the first octet has 8, second one has 8, third one has 8, fourth one has 8. Okay. A class A will have only the first octave occupied, leaving free this second octave, third octave, and fourth octave. I'll repeat again. For class A we have only the first octave occupied. That is how it's being built. Class A public addresses. And do you know the implication of having only one octave occupied? It means that it has more space to accommodate more devices, meaning we have this 8, this one from here is open to collect devices, meaning we have 8 plus 8 plus 8, which is how many?
24.
24. Okay, now I remembered something. We are doing it in the reverse portion. Just a minute. Let me get this in a broader place so that we don't confuse. Our drawing board is getting filled. Now I'm going to create more space on the drawing board so that we will have more space. Increase. Okay, now, yes. This is big. Okay. You're seeing it big, right? It's large enough. We have, let me use black. A, class A. These are classes. Let's name them classes. IP classes. IP, Internet Protocol classes. We have class A. We have, is divided into, it's going to be divided into 2 segments. The first segment will be the, let me get you guys something. Now, everything I'm trying to let you guys know is already on the Google. So what I'm trying to do is do a little tip in so that when you go back to read it up, it will make more sense for you. So IP classes. Okay. IP classes are what? Kindly read it up, Chinelo or Rob.
IP classes are groups of IP addresses that are used to serve different purposes. There are 5 classes of IP before version 4. Yes.
Yes.
IP address A, B, C, D, and E.
Good.
Okay, okay.
Yes. So, mhm. I want to bring out a diagram that will help us to understand it very well. Open up, open up, open up. Aha. In fact, this is going to fast forward our understanding now, guys. In fact, we have entered into a Benz. This material is going to help us to understand my small explanation for you guys. Now, remember when I told you guys that each octet is 8, right? Now, count, if you
Yes.
can count these numbers here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see? 8. Now, we already know, or we said that each of those octet has 8. Is octet stands for 8. So we're expecting to have 8, 8, 8, which makes up to 32. Forget about the digits, the decimal numbers there. Just forget about it for now. When you get to a certain length, you will appreciate the digits. But for now, we are concerned that, okay, there are 8. The octet that they stands for is 8888, which gives us 32. Now, let's go down a little bit. We have two classifications, network and the host. And we have it here. We have the network side, and we have the host side. I'm really sorry, guys, for stressing your head with this, but bear with me. You really need it, at least a bit of it. So just bear with me. In a class A IP address, only one of the octets is reserved for the network. The remaining octets, the remaining 3, is reserved for host. So when we are counting the octets that is open for network, we'll say it is just the first one. Let's mark it good. These ones are empty and they are available for devices to be put into it. And remember, all of them are still carrying, virtually all of them are still carrying 8 by 8 and 8 and 8. So, but on a larger scale, we have /8 here. Class B, 2 blocks, like the 2 octets are assigned to the network. We have 8 and 8. Then the remaining ones are for the host. Host means you can now put devices there. But once the network has taken these ones, you can't add anything inside here again. Now you understand why that unique address that is coming from that last numbers that is coming from the estate's address, you understand why it is always on that last side. Just we'll get there now. So on this class B, the first 2 octets are occupied by the network, leaving only 2. And this 2 is equals to how many? Slash what? Who is with me? Yes, /16. /16. Now, class C, the first 3 are assigned to the network. So leaving how many for devices?
1.
Good. And the total of these 3 8s here is how many? Slash what? Slash 24.
8.
Count it well. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, 22.
24.
24.
Yes.
21.
Now you understand why we are having that particular one only that is here. When we looked at our modem is playing on class C. Wherever you are, so far as you are setting up a private network, your home lab, you're going to be playing on class C, because even the class C itself, I told you guys that each of these block can take 256 devices, 255 devices, and most of us at most can have like 10 devices connected. Everybody in this class said they have 3. So you can see that when you do 255 minus 3 devices that you have, how many is remaining?
252.
Wasting 252 addresses are wasting. They are not in use. So even this class C,
For each port, sorry, for each update, Abi,
yes, yes,
there's updates supposed to contain or accommodate
55.
255 devices.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. But for the internet world to conserve space, that is why they made these rules, these classes. Anything that is coming from a home lab should operate on a class C, which will limit you to using only one host port, only one octet. Understood?
But why should the network be occupying how many? One, two, three updates?
Exactly. One of the reasons is what I explained now, to ensure that there is a limited, what's it called, waste. Let's assume that class B, you have been allowed to use class B, and if one octet is 255, how many will be available here? 500 and
For
what?
which class?
For B, class B,
510.
510. How many devices are you going to connect? How many devices do you have to use 510 slots? And this 510 means 510 IP addresses.
That's a lot.
Very good. That is why the list that could be assigned or allowed, permitted for, what's it called, a home network, a private network, is class C. Play around with class C. You have 256 IP addresses here. So anything you want to do with it, if you have, if you like, put all your family's devices, it will still contain inside the, what's it called, your class C. So, but once you step out and maybe organizations, you find out that organizations, they don't they don't play under class C. They go from, maybe some of them take A, some of them take B, depending on how big that organization is. So for example, let's say a company that is operating or using a class A, we have 256 plus 256, sorry, 255, 255,
6 of 5.
sorry, 255. So that will be how many? By 3. 255 by 3 will give how many IP addresses?
765.
How many?
765.
Actually, this is 765 blocks. Or I don't want to go deeper, because now this does not also determine the number of IP addresses that you have, because when you pieces the class, you will find blocks and range. You will find out that even in this 256 here, the amount of IP addressing that is consumable here is raised to power 2. But let's just do a close your eyes about it. Just look at the bigness of 255. Yes, there is a lot of space in 255. So why should I even be using 255? I need something lesser, maybe 3 or 4 or 5. You can never exhaust it as a single person, unless you are doing something way beyond what you're supposed to be doing. So, and class D, of course, you already seen how it is going. So have uh, class D will have the network taking over 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will be slash what? Slash 32, because we have 8, 8, 8, and 8. That's class 32. 32, Control Z.
So this one, how does it work?
Okay, there are organizations that make use of um, ABCD, this particular range of addresses. Most times they are government and reserved one. If you can see here, you see class D is multicast address. They are specifically reserved for special purposes. Class E reserved for special purposes. So when you are when you read extensively, you understand what the multicast addressing does. In fact, I think these particular sites will help you guys to do a little crash coursing into it. So
Can
you said
you mind sharing this link? Like,
yes, that's exactly what I want to do now. I want to see if I could share it now to us. I will start it so that after I'll come here and pick up the IP address and I'll append it to your class recording. Okay. For those who are in the habit of not checking it, when you come next week, you see tell me, sir, you didn't put it. I'll append it there. Okay. So the the word of IP addressing is very interesting. Now you are a little bit knowledgeable of why addresses are important. Somehow in your mind, it looks as though this thing is making small sense. Okay, it's making a little bit small sense. Do not worry your mind much. Manage the small sense it has you have now, but when you go back during the week to read or restudy about IP address, remember the assignment. Let me take us up back to the assignment. Yeah, to study IP address, IP octets, then IP class. Under the IP class, if you have time, there are ranges. You will also see them there. Ranges, where you see blocks. Trust me, when you're going through these materials online or Google anywhere, you will appreciate this 1 hour plus or 2 hours that we wasted. Let me not say we've wasted, that we've invested. Yes, we invested it into this. So by the time you are going through it again, you will appreciate this time that we invested into it. So just to recap, we understood by books or by learning that every modem issues out IP addressing to every device that is connected to it. Just like Chinelo Estates, the parent addressing stays intact, but the last octet of that address is used to give or distribute unique numbers or addresses to those devices. Why we also noted that we also added that each of these places where these numbers of these addresses are, we call them octets. So we have the first octet, second, third, and fourth. Then we also move down to understand that each octet represents 8. Here we say that okay, we have each octet has 8, each octet has 8, which gives into /32. Then we now went down a bit more to explain a bit about IP classes, where we said that they are shared into two: the network side and the host side. The host side is the places that devices can occupy, while the network side is for the network, is reserved for the network. Okay, so we started with class A. We said that class A has the first octave assigned to the network, and the remaining are free, which gives /8, because that we are counting it from the network side. This our numbering here, this counting is based from the network collection. So for example, the class B has 2 octets, which is 8 plus 8 is 16, and that gives us a /16 here. Then class C follows suit. 8 plus 8 plus 8 will give us /24. And we also understood that if you are operating in your private network, meaning your lab, your hotspot and your phone. In fact, once you have your hotspot and your phone, probably your laptop, you have a home lab. With that, you will be able to do the big things in smaller ways, which you're going to see from next week. You're going to be able to do port scanning. You're going to be able to do enumeration. You're also going to be doing know how to do vulnerability scanning and also fixing. There's a lot of things you could do with the little thing that is on your hand now without spending much, and that is the bedrock of our program. The bootcamp is to ensure you to do the big things in smaller ways. Why not spending much? So that by the time you are out of the program and you now have a focus of, I want to become this, I want to become a blue person, a blue team player, I want to become the red team player, I want to be on the GRC, I want to be on the policies, and you will already have a solid bedrock understanding of some of these vital things. Then we summarize it with class D, where we saw that in class D, the network took all the octave slash 32, and from the material outside that we saw on Google, we saw that this is for broadcast. Yeah, reserved. The E also is reserved. Reserved. Okay, now to round up and to add to your classworks, you have three classwork here. Study, read up on IP address, IP octet, IP class. Inside the IP class, of course, you're going to see the ranges and the blocks. This is block, BLOCK, IP blocks, OCK. So the third, or one, two, three, the fourth assignment will be a little crafty. Inside 255 available, let's say ports, or it's not ports, I'm not going to call it ports. Let's say inside 255 available units, the first one and the last one are not being assigned to any device. The first and the last are not being assigned to any device. Now, I want you to think like a computer. What will be the first number?
I don't understand. Like, what would be the router?
Let's say we are taking an imaginary jump and said, okay, we are in class, for any class you are in, for any octet you are in, that 255, if you are to use it and put devices, the first and the last inside this 255 are not being assigned to any device. Can anybody ask why?
Why?
Okay. That is your number 4th assignment. Find out why. Ah. Let me help you guys. Let me give you a spot on number 1. The first one is being used for, let's say, is being used for broadcasting. So for each of these octets, there is still a broadcasting channel inside them. So each of the 255 block has a broadcasting channel, and it is always 0 most times. So you know how computer counts. Computer does not count 1, 2, 3. It counts 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me come again. Computer does not start counting from 1. It starts counting from where? 0. So it means that if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, when computer is counting it, it will say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's what computer will count for 10.
The 0 will be part of the number, right?
Yes.
Will be part of the computer's number.
Yes.
Computer counting.
Yes.
So now, for instance, now, if we are to number it from 1 to 255 or 0 to 250, that means for number 2, that should be 254. Is
Exactly.
that what it's supposed to be?
Fantastic. Now you get it.
Okay.
Now, that is for the first one. So I told you guys that the first and the last are not being assigned to any device, right? So the first one is off. Whatever it is on the last one, which is 254, is also off. Your assignment is find out what the last is being used for. Since we already said that the first one is used for broadcasting, we use the first for broadcast. That's the first. Then the last one, what is it used for? Is on Google. You could go ahead there and find it out. So, is your last assignment for the day. Find what the last address is used for in a block. So it means we have 0 to 254. 0 is used for broadcast. Broadcast means if I want to send a message to all the devices in this block, I will use a 0. I will use a 0. You're going to find out how it is being done by next week when we start doing the practicals. I will use a 0 to send the message. Remember our estates. You remember this guy, the security guy that we gave 0? Yeah. So for us to send a message to all the occupants, we need to send it through the security guys. The guys, the estate management guys, the security guys, they will go around and ensure that everybody gets the message. So the same thing here. So the 0 is for broadcasting. Why this one, the last one, is for what? So find out. You have 4 classwork. Read up on IP address, IP octets, IP class. Then you find what the last address is used for. And we'll be calling it a day from there. I'm so sorry for taking you guys through this step. Like I tell people, every class is different. There are set of batch that will come and they're already past this level. So I will not spend much time in IP address in explaining all this. And even if there is one person there that doesn't understand it, trust me, I will still do it. The others should calm down. That is why it's a class, so that nobody will be left behind. So I'm happy you guys stayed through till we have this section. If there be any questions before we wrap up, it would be nice for us to take those questions now. Trust me, you're going to have a lot more questions if you diligently go through the classworks. By next week, we'll start talking to the Kali machine. Please go to that your folder, see the video on how to install everything, ensure that your Kali Linux is installed well and ready to run, so that we'll start running our codes and our commands, which will help us to get the IP address range and the family. We also find out the unique address octet. Then also when we start scanning the router network to locate the devices on the network, we use some of these commands to scan. Remember this, I told you guys that 0 is being used to send a message to all the groups. So we'll see how it is being done together. And if we have time still next week, we'll go into ports. Ports is another more important topic too. Ports is like doors. Remember, Robin, I asked you about the doors. If you don't know how many doors in your house, you can't be secured. So if you want to be shocked, there are, let me ask you, in a particular device, let's say in your phone, How many doors? When I'm using doors, I'm actually saying port because they are like the same thing. They are like gateways. They are gateways into a system. So how many, Chinelo, you are feel free to answer too. How many doors or ports do you think is available in a device? And by a device, I mean your phone, your laptop, whatever it is, in a single device. How many ports do you think is available?
So 55.
Okay, thank you very much for your humble answer. You're a good girl. Uncle Rob, you are laughing.
So, sorry, oh, I had a divided attention.
Sorry. Don't miss this. So you see, our class is very, very important. Any little minute we have, it's very important. I asked you a question previously about the doors in your house. Like, if you don't know how many doors in your house, your security will not be intact, right?
Yeah.
So now, I said ports. We are going to be looking at ports next week or next 2 weeks. Ports is synonymous with doors. They are entry points. Okay. Now the question
I've
is,
changed my answer. One.
calm down. You've changed it to one. No problem.
Yes.
It's all right. So you have two answers. Chinelo has 1 and 256. No problem. So the question was, how many ports or doors do you think is available in a single device, whether it's your phone, whether it's your laptop? By default, this is a default. By default, that's how it came. How many ports or doors do you think? Just give a random guess.
Um, uh, it's eight.
How many?
Eight.
Okay. Do you have another answer you want to give? Chinelo gave two answers.
254.
Okay. This Robert. It's a bit tifo. Okay. I'm going to shock you guys very well that in that your phone you have, there are
Mm-hmm.
56,500
What?
and I think 35 or 56, 535 ports in any single device. 56,535 ports. When we come next week,
I think you are right.
yeah, like I told you, it's on
Can
default.
we,
It's by default. So by when we come
can
next
you
week,
briefly tell us uh,
our time is fast spent.
how we get this?
Our time is fast. It's not something I will say. I will tell you that okay, this is the breakdown on how it is. Devices come with this default space, spots, because of what they need it. Okay, because of the millions and thousands of operations that can be going through in a device at any minute or second. So the
And
devices,
all of them have this unique number.
yes,
All the devices
every device has this number of
have
opening.
56.
Yes, 56,535. Whether it's your phone, whether it's your smart, what's it called, smartwatch, whether it's your AC, smart AC, whether it's your laptop, ni.
On laptop.
Yes. So if you're smart enough to, you can add it to your read up on your class, on your classwork, so that when we come on next week, we'll have a more engageful class. Thank you very much, guys. We've taken a lot of time. I'm already exhausted, and I appreciate you guys on the class. So, so on the group, you people should decide the punishment. You people are how much suya or whatever it is you people are bringing in this weekend. It has to come. Oh, else Mr. Brian is not going to be happy because it's a punishment for people not going to check on your class folder. So thank you very much, guys. Rob, thank you. Chinelo, thank you. Have a nice weekend.
very much for the bathroom
Wait,
session.
wait, wait. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate.
Then wait.